Northern Trust, Brooks Koepka, Jamie Lovemark. The co-leaders at 10 under par entering the third round. Tiger Woods is 10 back at level par. He is even par through 5 holes today. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 97.1theticket.com.
The following is a paid program. The views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of Entercom Communications, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed, alongside of me, Derek Brooks.
Hey, thanks for having me today.
Derek, it's great to have you again.
Love being in studio with you.
Harry's out doing some additional business outside of the office today, actually, and we'll have him back here, I think, in next weekend for sure. But you are definitely a great fill-in for Harry.
I'm so pumped up. I can only try and hope to bring half of what Harry brings every single week. I mean, Harry's the man. We all know Harry's the man.
What you bring is Kyle Desmond from Hall & Hunter in Birmingham. Kyle, it's great to have you. And we had you back here a few months ago.
Yeah, no, it's great to be back. Thanks for having me again, and always enjoy being here with you guys, and looking forward to a fun hour, and hopefully we can watch the storm roll in.
Yeah, we can just stay dry inside right now. So
it's the place to be today.
Sure.
Hey, you guys actually bring in something, and it excites me. And I was talking to Derek last night. Your age group. You know, when I was in my 20s, early 20s, and I was wondering, can I still do this when I get into 50 and 60? Can I reach out and to tell the younger buyers, the first-time buyers, 20s and 30s, they even could be in their 40s, you know, embrace them and teach them this process of home ownership? That's always been the fun for me, sitting down with families and watching them go from the idea, hey, they're renting, they're starting their lives off, and then getting into that first house, and then they come back to you, and now they got 1 or 2 kids, and the whole thing and the growth of it. So you guys bring that young energy. It's fun to watch, and your age group is buying homes right now.
yeah, absolutely. And I think that something that are like my age group, you know, the 30s, older 20s, people in that age group right now, they're making very informed decisions. They want to know, they want to be educated. There's a lot of it's not just, hey, I want to buy a home, I'm going to buy a home this month. They really want to know everything that comes down to. They want to know their payments. They want to know what their range is. They want to know, is this something that's a worthwhile investment for me? What are the hot areas? Things of that nature. So I'm really, it sounds funny to say, but I'm really proud of my group right here. You know?
Oh, good. Well, that's where I want to go. You said something, and we'll talk about that. They want to be educated. Hey,
Absolutely.
we are brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. That's where you can find Derek and myself all week long at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Of course, we have people in the office all weekend long. The key is to really sit down, or at least get into some pretty in-depth conversations about your personal situation, because everyone's personal situation is a lot different.
A lot different, yeah.
Their debt-to-income ratio, the dets they have, their past, their credit history.
Loans.
Student loans are a big part of this. So, but you mentioned, and it sort of triggers me, does your generation, do they want to learn, or they just want the ease of it? I'm not sure. Sometimes it's like 50-50 with me. Half the clients, I think, want to come in, Kyle, and really learn about this. And then when they're out there with you, they're more informed. And then it makes everyone's jobs easier. So, or is it just the ease of, just get me to the pay window? Where do I sign?
Yeah, no, I think it's probably pretty split down the middle, 50-50. I think some people, they get more informed as they go on. I think when, especially a first-time home buyer, when they're looking at houses, and let's say they see one they like, they offer on it, they don't get it. In this market today, that's going to happen. I actually had a client who's going through that right now, but they're learning. And now she knows more probably than this week than she did last week. And then now she's, as Derek said, she's starting to look at houses differently than she did a week ago, because she's learning more. And now she really can zone in on what she wants. And then there's other people who just walk in and, here's what I'm approved for. This is the range.
Find me a house.
If find me a house, I'm signing the papers. Let's go.
Right. So, if they have that confidence and that knowledge, they want to move forward. Hey, it makes everyone's jobs easier. But I still think, do you need to know to make your job easier? Because, again, those wants and needs lists are always changing due to the competitive market out there.
Oh, yeah. And I tell my clients all the time, whether it's first-time home buyers or second house, third house, make sure you know exactly what you want. Obviously, some people do, some people don't. But it just makes it easier when you know exactly what you're looking for, as opposed to just kind of
winging it.
Winging it and kind of scattering around and trying to find something, because you'll miss out on probably a house that you wanted. And make sure that especially on the mortgage and the lending side, exactly what you're paying. What's it going to look like? What are the costs? What are the closing costs? You don't want to be surprised by this when you make an offer and all of a sudden Derek sends you, the CD, and he's in
It's
Did you
not
see
always
the numbers. Yeah,
It's not always about buying. If you're pre-approved for $250,000, it's not always saying I want a $250,000 house. A $250,000 house in City X is something different in City Y because of things like property taxes. It's more important a lot of times to see how much money am I going to be doling out per month to whatever mortgage servicer I'm with at that time. No. It's very important to be educated on. Hey, I can get a house in, say, Waterford. That $250,000 pre-approval is going to go a lot further than if I'm looking in Walled Lake.
Yeah.
Because taxes are higher. Taxes are almost double. And that's just, the facts right there. So, that's just part of the education process right there. And I've had a lot of borrowers ask that. I'm actually really proud of the people that I've been working with. I think it's great. They're just coming with more information. And, Harvey and I, we're ready to supply all the information. There's not a lot of people that are going to out-talk you and I. So if they want to know answers to questions about the mortgage world, we got them. And we're going to find them out for you.
I always thought it was a lot of fun to sit down with people and really go over it A to Z and, see what their the next question is. You give a little bit of information and it brings on more questions. Anyhow, as Kyle will tell you, the Midwest has just been jamming. Again, sales are up 18.2% from last year in July. New construction still catching up. Again, it's still rocking here in the Midwest. What's the trend? Some of the hot areas. What do you see in some of these hot areas? Are we at that point? Some people are starting to talk about the end of the summer. What's left in the marketplace, or is it still a multiple bid situation on those hot homes?
Yeah, I've seen them all. I mean, there's still multiple bids going on in the Woodward corridor where I do a majority of my business. Royal Oak, Beverly Hills, Berkeley, Ferndale. Another area that I've been watching just because I had a couple clients buy there, it was Hazel Park. Right. Has really gone from, I think, up 30% from last year. And I think from June to July, just in 1 month, it went up 10. So, I mean, there's still a lot of people looking at homes, getting in multiple bid situations. I don't, I can't tell you if that's going to change anytime soon. I hope it doesn't. I hope the market stays where it's at. But I think, from June, July, August now, there's still a lot of action. I mean, nothing's, people are talking, when's it going to, but it's still going. People are still active.
The word I was reading last night was our home prices pumping the brakes just a little bit. I think you might see that from certain areas. Maybe certain neighborhoods won't be as attractive to some folks than other ones. But that's just nature of our industry. And again, what's hot today might cool down. And as you mentioned, maybe pick up on a new hot city like a Hazel Park or something like that. It's amazing. It seems like Chef Chris over there opens up Mabel Gray restaurant. And you could build a city around a restaurant and you start getting other businesses in there. So pretty interesting how some of the trendsetters out there and the go-getters, like whatever, they open up a restaurant, a bar, and they knock down one house and build their house, and they show other people, hey, these are new hot communities to take a look at.
And it's an interesting part of the season for us too, because we're really working with families and parents that are wanting to get their kids in certain schools or going back to school or getting their kids into college, and maybe these parents now are empty nesters and maybe they need to downsize. So they're really wanting to see what's out there on the market. From what I've seen from people that I've talked to, Kyle, you're one of my main guys, and I just, what we've talked about is there's a lot, there's inventory still out there, and there are a lot of bids, and houses are still, it's a very attractive market out there, and sometimes, just depending on the area, Harvey, kind of like you said, just there's a lot of allure towards new certain areas like that, and I think it's tremendous.
All right, if you're just tuning into the show, we are brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. That's where you can find us all week long. Again, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. And the key is when you're calling mortgage professionals, it's not always about that rate. It's about getting a strong approval letter, getting some confidence and some knowledge behind you. We'll do all of that right when we come back. 248-539-9797. Welcome back to the show, 9:18. A gorgeous day out there. That's right, we're out there at the Dream Cruise. Coming up after us, you're going to have Pat Caputo, Dan Leach. They're going to be talking cars, sports, a little bit of social commentary always with those guys. 248-539-9797. Come and join the Hardcore Mortgage Show. We are brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. I'm Harvey Freed. Of course, James Lutz filling in for Harry Glanz. He brought in a great staff, Ian Mason, Kevin McClellan, who does like the rehab guy here on the east side, does a lot of great stuff. Hey, as you guys know, mortgage rates still at all-time lows. The 10-year yield started on Monday, sort of ended with the same numbers on Friday. Very little change in mortgage rates if you look at the last 2 months, very little change. The geopolitical events that we thought were going to creep into the market and rally the bond, pretty quiet week last night for Turkey and China and some other worldly things. It's nice when things are quiet. And of course, with the unemployment figures being so low, yeah, you're going to see rates probably bump up. Of course, that's what the talk of the Fed is, that look for another 1 or 2 bumps in the Fed funds rate. However, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to drive up the mortgage interest rates. We've seen a couple bumps, and it's been generally pretty flat.
True.
All right. If you want to join the show, 248-539-9797. I threw it out there, and, I've got my buddy Scott selling his house, and sure enough, he's got it listed, and he did a price reduction. His agent did mention to him maybe, hey, look, it's gorgeous. The bones are solid. It's got a new roof. It's got some great stuff, but it's got that kitchen with the Formica, and it hasn't been repainted. It's probably, do you spend the extra $10,000? I throw it out there, Ian. It's scary business to me. Do you spend the extra $10,000 because you think you're going to net an extra $15,000? Do you spend 10 to get 15? Where's that fine line, and can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Most people are surprised by it. Everybody wants to do something to participate in selling their home, and I appreciate that. But most often, my advisement is no. In my eyes, clean, safe, and functional, or a balance of the three, is really where you need to be. Obviously, if there's something that's going to flag like an FHA issue, of course, under the 300 mark or what have you, but or maybe something that would actually flag a conventional, which would be rare there. But either way, something of that sort, of course, you need to fix it. But when it comes to cosmetics, countertops, cabinets, carpeting, clean, safe, and functional. So, I mean, if your carpet's got, pet stains in it, then that's not clean. Yeah, you probably need to replace it.
This house has all of those things, and I like that you commented on it. Cleans, it's safe. It's fine. Let the people that are going to buy it, they have to have a little vision. They also might want to put their own colors and pick out their own granite. So go and look at that house. Maybe if it's a little over your budget, you can always make an offer.
That's right. Some of this probably seems a little bit contrary to like what Kevin does, because his places are knockout, and they have Carrara marble or quartz and all that stuff. But for the average homeowner, they're paying a retail price to have that stuff installed. They're paying a retail price to purchase the material. And by basic numbers, you're going to get 30, 40 cents on a dollar back. It's just not, it's a misconception. As goofy as it is, and it's probably hard to understand, if you read the data on it, they say the only thing that'll return more than $1 you spend on it is insulation. And it returns like $1.16 per dollar that you spend. And
it comes down to the funds too, right? Whether your seller has the funds to put in the house.
Of course. I mean, you have to be able to afford to do that. But, and it's hard to prove this on paper realistically, but let's call it a $20,000, well, in a house like that, it's probably more. Call it a $30,000, $40,000 kitchen remodel. By numbers and data and National Association of Realtors statistics, that $30,000 or $40,000 kitchen's only worth 10 or 15 grand in value.
All right, we want to hear from you all morning long. 921. What a gorgeous weekend here in Michigan. Yeah, 1 million people cruising up and down Woodward. You don't think this is the place to live? Let me definitely tell you it is. I was out in Arizona. That heat is brutal out there.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you, when I came back here and everything's green, look, we're going to have a tough winter again, but we're tough. We can handle it. And I'll tell you, if you enjoy all 4 seasons, this is the place to live. What a great
App. Download it today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
Welcome back to the show. Good morning. If you're just getting up, 9:16. Could be about 79 degrees out there. Showers on your way. And later this afternoon, they're going to hit us with some more showers. A quick little hello out there to my cousin. He's getting married. Actually hitting down to Detroit tonight.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Yeah, Jonathan Clark and Natalie Mosheri going to tie the knot tonight. There's my shout out to them. Good luck, guys.
Absolutely. Good luck. I actually got a little shout out. It's my my little nephew. He's going to turn 4 coming up soon. I get to be Mr. Incredible at his birthday party tomorrow. So if you want to see a mortgage lender in a big red spandex suit, you can find me tomorrow in Canton somewhere.
Not sure what that means, but good stuff.
It's going to be fun. Yeah.
And I'll give a shout out to my brother and his new wife Kara got married last Saturday.
Oh, there you go.
And
Hey.
they're in St. Lucia right now on their honeymoon, so they're probably not listening, but they should be.
You know, I'm glad we brought it up. I'm working with a client now, and we're going to close next week. We'll close off Friday right at the end of the month here. And one of the things when you're getting married out there, preparing yourself for home ownership, and if you're just listening, of course, the Hardcore Mortgage Show in our 18th plus year here, 248-539-9797. Call our show. Talking about some young people who got married recently. So, yeah, with the gift money, you got to put some things together. So, sure enough, it's very hard, and we're not asking you to make a copy of every single check, right? When you get married, you might
dozens
have
and dozens of gifts.
150,
Yeah.
right? So, what you can do is hang on to your deposit slip, a copy of your marriage license, and also you can just write a little short letter and saying, hey, here's a copy, here we got married. Also, a wedding invitation. Sometimes an underwriter would ask for that. One or two pieces just to document where you got those funds for. And those funds are allowed to be used for your purchase of your house. So again, just like things out there, if you're thinking about buying a house right after you get married, you have to justify where the money came from. And so often, as you guys will know, you guys went through it recently, your parents might have reimbursed you. So here it is, you paid a photographer a whole bunch of money, a couple $1,000s, and now your parents are reimbursing you. Where did this money come from?
Big deposit.
Yeah.
Big, large deposits. You got to document that stuff. So, again, always get in touch with a qualified mortgage professional. Mortgage banker is the best way to fly, and they'll show you the way and make it really easy for you. Nothing like closing in 30 days or less.
30 days or less is great. Now, I actually have a kind of a hypothetical, and I don't want to go too deep into it, but sports gambling is going to be legal soon. And, I know that, with deposits on things like that, I wonder if they're going to have to change laws about how we're going to source those funds or something like that. Because if it's a legal transaction, it can come from, somewhere like an online gambling company.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to pop up, and we're going to see it soon.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. You can always print out receipts and documentation, screenshot things, and use those as documentation. So that's the key. Yeah, I mean, money's money, but you do have to document it if you haven't had it seasoned in your account.
So when the Lions win the Super Bowl this year and somebody wins 5 Gs off it, we'll be able to source it that way. You just got to get the receipt.
There could be, with the odds that they're getting to win it all, there's going to be large deposits.
Right.
They might just buy the home in cash then. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Housing recovery, it isn't over, that's by sure. Yes, new and existing home, lower demand out there. I don't know about that. The demand is absolutely strong. Basic demographics, though, the economy is still improving. The labor markets are strong. Most of the demand is on the lower end. You definitely see that as we talk about, our younger generation or even people looking to downsize. Boy, Kyle, it's very hard to get those offers accepted when you're between 125 and I'm going to say 300,000. That's the wheelhouse. You better be ready to close. You can't have any contingencies. Can you comment a little bit about that market and that price range?
And you said it right. I mean, it's competitive out there in that price range, and you gotta. I tell clients, put your best offer in. If you want the house in that price range, you're offering $250. They're listed at $250. Get creative with the EMD. The EMD is a big thing. People think, 1 or 2%, but if you have the funds available, let people know that I want this house. I can afford it. I have the EMD here, and really, I try to make it as good as I can for them in terms of when we write it. Like, we should be doing this, should be doing that. But it is really competitive in those price ranges. You got to be ready, and you got to be ready to, and don't overextend. And I always say, if you write the best offer you can, if you get it, you're good with it, you're comfortable with it. If you don't get it, you move on because you made the best offer. Be comfortable either way, and then move on to the next if you don't get it, and just be ready to be ready to not get it and move on to the next one.
Sometimes you might find yourself, and I know we saw this so often the last 2 years where clients were overbidding on the house. So that $250 house, they might have bid it all the way up to $260 at the end of the day, even $265 for that matter. If you have the extra money to make up the difference, then you're going to be in good shape. If the house appraises for less and you're at $265, that's why it's so important to have that professional people involved in your transaction, the real estate agents that are on the know, have those separate addendums where they say, look, we're willing to pay $265, even $15,000 over your asking price. But here's the deal. If the house appraises only at $255, we're going to buy a $255.
Right.
So you can set up some parameters on your purchase agreement, and it's reasonable to sellers. You know, they're in the same position. You're going to see that often. Remember that. If you're making an offer, you're in a buyer, some of the things that you're dealing with are the same things that the sellers are going to be dealing with when they go to buy a house.
Right.
But those documents are key to a transaction. And we talk about all these different documents, Derek, as you know, in these transactions. You got to read what you're signing.
Absolutely.
One of the things, we got relocation companies out there, new construction, bank-owned properties. These are a little bit different. The language on their purchase agreement, if you don't use their title company, you might have to pay an owner's policy.
An extra, yep.
There's a lot to know. Who's paying the transfer tax? Who's paying title insurance on these transactions? You got to read the transactions. You got to read the contracts.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's very important to just be, it goes all the way back to education again. And when you're reading, when you're making one of these largest purchases, at that point for, the people that we're talking about today, it is the biggest transaction in their lives. So you would want to go in knowing everything at that point, wouldn't you? At least I would hope so. And that's what we do. That's what we'll sit down with them. We'll make sure that they know. I think it's very important for the lender and a real estate agent at that point when they're working together to have a lot more strong of a relationship than just saying, okay, boom, here's the pre-approval letter. Go find your guy a home. Right. I think it's very important for the real estate agent to bring the lender a lot of information about the borrower and for the borrower to know exactly everything that's going on both sides of the transaction. I mean, it is like a perfect triangle in that sense. And the more that, we know, the more that they know, the better this 30-day process can go.
Yeah.
Because, when you do it, halfway, that 30-day transaction can go into 45 and 50. And we don't want to do that. We never want to do that. We don't want to put people in pressure, and we don't want people to stress out during that. Our job is to make it as easy as possible for you, and we do that. Yeah, because we are very educated.
We talked about earlier in the day, if you want to join the show, we'd like to hear from you. 248-539-9797. Definitely want to hear from you. Taking all calls here live in the studio. We know we got a full office full of people. If you want to get that approval letter, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Yeah, again, we always talk about it. Do you want to be educated or not? I wonder how many buyers, Kyle, recently, if we sat down some of the younger buyers recently, maybe they got a loan in Capital Mortgage or elsewhere. Right. Do they know proration of taxes? Do they understand how the escrow account works? So when the house is reassessed in 2019, do they understand what caused that property tax to go up and the ramifications of everything involved in a transaction? I don't know. If you,
I don't.
Is it important to know? I think it is.
I think it is, and it's important for obviously for us as realtors and lenders to know as well. I think people they probably should know more about it, but I think they just kind of they get they're concentrated on the end. We want the house. I've had clients that. They see these taxes like what's in the escrows account and all that. Those are things that people they understand it when they sign that first check, right?
Okay,
when
right.
They make that first payment. I think before then they just see it as, oh, this is what I'm paying every month, great. And then they're saying, wait, you could be short on your escrow, which is never fun to deal with. I had to deal with that. I was like, oh no. And it's when our taxes went up, you got to scramble and deal with it.
You pay.
Yeah, you pay. So.
I think it's very important, and that's something that even as a mortgage lender, I got to do better at myself is educating them with especially things like tax prorations right up front.
There you go.
They got to know.
Education's the key. When we come back, we're going to keep throwing all this information out there. We'd like to hear from you. 248-539-9797. We'll be right back.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Danberg for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Grosse Ile, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Hi, Harry Glantz and Danberg for Capital Mortgage Funding.
All right, welcome back to the show. You listen to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Call us all week long, all weekend long. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. You can also shoot us an email at mortgage.show@lowrateonline.com. If that's hard, go to Capital Mortgage's page. Check us out on Facebook Live. That's always a cool one, too. We're getting up to about 3,000 viewers on there. If you do view the show, send us a comment. We'll always get back to you, and really appreciate all the listening audience out there. Again, 248-539-9797 right here in the studio. Some great guys in here. Ian Mason, who just does a ton of business on the east side. Kevin McClellan, who fixes up, I think, every house and really makes it great. Kevin's got a reputation. If you see one of his houses, like, you're making offers immediately. So really cool stuff out there. And we were just talking about the face-to-face interview, and, you know, people are calling around chasing an 8%. So I wrote down some numbers, and if you guys want to jump in with this, what does an 8% mean on $100,000? You know, an 8% 0.125 on your interest rate. So whether your interest rate's 4.625 or 4.75, $8.
Yeah,
$8 on a 30-year. So you got, then if you're borrowing $200,000 on an eighth, now you got 16. And of course, if you're better yet, if the rate goes up even more, you just keep timesing it over. But rates, generally speaking, if they've gone up 0.5%, maybe it's costing you $60 to about $80 more. And that's what we saw over the last 12 months here.
Yeah, well, we've been battling and fighting because rates have been going up, so it's a very competitive market out there. And people think I would love to tell you how important it is to not chase and worry about the rate quite as much. Worry about the personal service. Worry about closing your transaction.
You're never going to notice that rate again.
No.
The $8 difference, the $10 difference, $12, it's not
how about you work with the wrong lender or the wrong agent?
Exactly.
You spend $400 on inspection, $400 on an appraisal, and because your loan officer didn't know what they were doing, like I just had happen on one of my houses I'm trying to sell.
Kevin, I'm glad you brought up the anger.
Yeah, sorry, but I had to jump in. You know, we're 48 days in, and another condition pops up, and another condition pops up. And, like, I just know that wouldn't happen with you guys. So I cringe when I get offers on my properties and I got to sift through them and I pick the wrong one. And I'm kind of going through it right now, unfortunately.
No, we appreciate the good feedback anyways, definitely. So what does an eighth mean? And like you said, at the end of the day, it's good. Save money by calling Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE. That's easy enough. You are going to save money and deal with some local lenders here. And I think that's a great place to start for a lot of families, is just deal locally here.
Listen to us anytime, anywhere.
97.1 The Ticket.
All righty. Welcome back to the show. Tim Jetski on the board over there. Tim, what do you got? 18 hours today handling all the Tigers. He's your producer for the Tigers. He's behind the board. We get to have him on our show because we've been here long enough. Thanks a lot, Tim. Always fun to have you there. He's giving me some looks. 248-539-9797. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Always call and get that strong approval letter. As we talk about purchases all morning long with Kyle Desmond at Hall & Hunter in Birmingham, it's great to have you in here, Kyle. We're looking for some buyers and sellers to give us a phone call, but also Derek cash out transactions on refinances. It's been gangbusters. I am doing a plethora of land contract payoffs. So if you're out there and you do have a land contract, I think now would be a great time to go ahead and pay off that land contract
What are the
holder.
majority of those land contracts sitting at right now? Like a 7% rate?
Usually something like that. But again, the seller on those more so, they want their chunk of money. They were
absolutely,
willing. They were willing to give you land contract terms. A lot of families went through some tough times as we had the recession in the around here from 2008 on, and now these families can come back and refinance their house, pay off land contracts. Also, one thing that families don't know, on an FHA mortgage, you could pay off the land contract and pull equity out of the house to consolidate debt. The numbers are staggering when you sit down with families. Now, these are my favorite transactions. When you sit down and you show them, not only have you built equity over the last 5 or 6 years, you could use that equity now, use that money to really pay off and get your family set up.
Purchases are great. I love putting people in homes. I love being a part of that process. But like you just said, that cash out refinance to help somebody consolidate debt, pay off student loans, pay off a home equity line that no longer can be used as a tax deduction, things of that nature. The cash out refinance is a great thing, whether it's FHA, VA, conventional.
Right.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I'm glad you mentioned VA again, because Kyle mentioned that his father actually was unaware of it at the time he bought his last property, that he used finally his VA eligibility. And of course, VA mortgage is a great program to give back to our servicemen and women who have served the country. What's great about it is it's a really flexible program. They're allowing lower credit scores. The zero down is the key. So again, if you haven't saved up a whole lot of money, you can get in. Also, sellers' concessions are allowed.
Yes.
So a lot of our veterans, if they set up the loan, the transaction properly with their agent, again, real estate agents and mortgage people, yes, that's right, folks. We work together to make your transaction go smooth and easy. But if you do that right, sometimes very little money is needed from a veteran. And again, to get a service member into a house so his family can grow, and it's just that's the best right there.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna go back one more time with that cash out refinance, even on the VA. Up to 100% of the appraised value they can pull money out to. So anything, they need to pay off any debts. I mean, it's the best thing for them at that point. It makes sense. Money's cheap.
Yeah, money's real cheap still. 248-539-9797. Why not segue zero down programs? Always like to throw out there if you're a first-time home buyer. If you haven't bought a house, there's these different programs out there like MSHDA. The MSHDA loans through the Michigan State Housing Development Authority will grant you $7,500. It's a quiet second mortgage. And I'm starting to do more and more of these. Again, years ago, I used to do a whole bunch. I got scared away. I didn't know what the different paperwork. Now I'm back in, and I'm realizing that a lot of the buyers, yes, that's their situation. They're just having trouble saving money. And the reason why, Derek and Kyle, you'll agree with us, as the rents are through the roof. So as you're renting,
tremendous.
you used to be able to save money when you were renting, but now they're getting as much or more, and it's more expensive to rent than it is to own.
No, and I tell people all the time who are renting or thinking about renting, or they're moving back here, and I tell them, I said, to get into a rental is going to be around $4,000 or $5,000 depending on where you're living, maybe more.
Kyle,
call Derek and see you literally might be able to go buy a house.
You and I, Kyle, we literally just helped out a renter that you knew, and I think she was paying maybe $2,400 a month to live, per month, and we got her into a house that's bigger, nicer.
Yeah,
$1,600 a month.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Exactly. But rent has gone. I mean, it has gone up to the point where, between security deposits and all that, cleaning fees. I mean, you're hamstringing yourself. I mean, you're not paying you're not investing in anything. You're just paying someone else. And depending on an inflated number of dollars to live
depending
somewhere.
on the rules, what can you do to improve that home if you want to change something? I mean, it's still not your home at that point. So
and the example I had is I rented a house in Birmingham about 10 years ago, and there was a couple of us lived there. It was like $1,400 a month. That house was renting again last year for $28,000.
Wow.
I mean, so that's
gone
10
through the
years.
roof.
I mean, granted, timing's different, but that's how much rent has gone up.
Yeah, these landlords definitely, the people who had money, and when the recession hit and you had money and it was a great opportunity, it's always usually about timing. Just a little bit more on the USDA loans, the rural development loans. It's in northern Macomb County, all of the outskirting county, the Genesee County, Washington, these counties, Macomb's got in the north, parts of Oakland County, even Wayne County, are rural development areas. It's to increase population in these areas. The program came out several years ago. It's to get more people to move outside of the city and to, habitat and raise families and take advantage of these houses. So the zero down programs do have income limits. But in northern Oakland and again, northern Macomb County, these programs are available. If you're in St. Clair County, these are all available for the outlying counties here just outside of Detroit. And if you need further information, be sure to call us at Capital Mortgage, 1-800-LOW-RATE. That's 1-800-569-7283. And definitely we'll give you some more information about that. All right. Hey, I wrote down some other stuff last night as my neighbor Juliet stopped by.
Oh, I like Juliet.
Okay, so Juliet, there you go. She actually, I'm like, Julie, she sold, she's telling me, hey, Harvey, I was probably involved, and she's telling me last night she was involved with selling maybe one of the first lofts in Detroit. The Canfield ones right near Shinola. Really cool stuff. And boy, what appreciation since 1998 when Detroit started to really take off again, and we saw more and more families and individuals saying, hey, this is a place for me. But as you know, continue to support the city, our region. If you're just a new Detroiter, hey, look, there's plenty of people that have paved the way for you before. Respect and love. And I'll tell you, if it's a place for you to consider moving your family down to, then take a look at it. And
I was down in Detroit last night with my wife. We went down, enjoyed a Tiger game. It was Spartan night down there. So, I mean, we went to a restaurant. We bar hopped a couple times, and we had a blast. It's beautiful down there. There's a lot of growth, a lot of development. Mm-hmm. I think, Harvey, just to piggyback off what you were saying, I think you're 100% spot on. I think there's a lot of good things going on down there, and there's that housing growth. There are things being built. It's great.
I never felt like, I think it's broken finally. I think when I was a lot younger, I felt like some sort of divide. But now it's our region. It really is. The suburbs in Detroit. When I was a little kid, someone said, "Where are you from?" and I was down with my grandparents in Florida, I'm from Detroit. It didn't matter if I would lived in Southfield or where I lived at the time. When Detroiters are asked, where you're from, we're from Detroit. We're Michiganders, and that's the part I love. I just hope that we continue in this region to really embrace each other and just grow. We can make this state something different than anything else out there. We just got to keep the business here and do things for each other, and I think things will really go in the right direction here. Non-warrantable condos I want to bring up, too, because what's happening is a lot of new projects are being built. The lofts are being converted. Old warehouses are being converted to lofts. Call Capital Mortgage Funding. We offer these types of loans. And again, non-warrantable condominiums that have something a little funky about them, whether they're new construction, 100 units are going in and they've already sold 2 of them. These are things that might fall under non-warrantable condominiums.
And if you're not sure, we'll do the research for you. We will find that out for you. Because there are different, programs, there are different things that we, that have to be done in those type of situations. And, sometimes right off the bat, we don't know ourselves. So we will go and do the research for you if you do or you don't know. Right. I have, real estate agents that hit me up, is this warrantable condo? Or is this condo warrantable? And, I can't tell you off the top of my head. I got to do the research, and I have, we have a team there that will look them up. We'll take it all the way.
Yeah, this is for projects. Again, it could just be a new construction condominium project. There's reasons why. Maybe there's only being 12 units are being built, and maybe 6 of them are already occupied or owned by an investor of some sort. So there's different reasons that would make a property maybe not fit within the typical Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac guidelines. However, we offer every single mortgage program. That's right. Call Capital Mortgage Funding. That's where you're going to get your answers. Again, whether it be a jumbo loan, if you had a situation with a foreclosure in the past, a short sale, call Capital. Derek, I've reinvested myself in educating myself even more. We offer so many different programs, and it's almost as if every day when we get to the office, there's a new twist on a program.
There seems to be something new all the time.
Yeah, it's a constant thing for us to keep up on it. And again, when you read some of these programs and put a family into it, boy, you're just saying, boy, I'm glad I figured that out for them. There's always another angle to save someone some additional money.
Yeah, it's very worthwhile to, ask your lender, see what type of programs are out there. That's where you want to build the relationship with the people that you're working with, because every situation's different. There's not going to be, one situation that you fall into that everybody else is encompassing in at that point as well. I think that it's very important for people to, make sure whether it's, a job or whether you have some type of history in your past. I think it's very important to really let everybody know and tell everybody your situation.
All right. Back to education again, guys.
Yeah.
Always good stuff. 248-539-9797. Don't let those clouds bum you out. Don't cancel your plans. It's Michigan. The weather will change in a little bit here.
It'll be nice later.
It'll be nice later. Hey, give us a call on the show. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show. 248-539-9797. We'll be back.
97.1 The Ticket.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Danberg for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Grosse Ile, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
That's right, folks. The Wilbur Dream Cruise is going on right now. Get on out there. We got 97.1 broadcasting live all day. Check us out on Woodward there. I don't know, I'm getting mixed. Someone said it's at a Coney. We're at McDonald's. You guys will fill in with me here or something. Tell me where we're at, the actual booth. But call us at 248-539-9797. We'll answer all your questions. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Also live here in the studio, 248-539-9797. I'm Harvey Freed, James Lutz from our office. We got Kevin McClellan and Ian Mason, great real estate guys out on the east side. Hey, let's go to some calls. We got Joe calling in from East Point. Joe, good morning. Welcome to our show.
Good morning. Good morning. My question is credit card debt, and maybe as it relates to your home and other property. My question is credit card debt, as I've always understood, unsecured debt, not secured by your car or your house or your kids or your bicycle, but unsecured. Granted, based on your credit worthiness at the time you get the card or the credit.
Yes. I'm good with all that. Keep going. What else?
Yes, it's unsecured.
Yes, it's unsecured debt. You go to the department store, you buy miscellaneous, you go to all these big box stores.
What?
You spend a lot. I just spend a lot of money, and it's on my credit card. And I got the bill yesterday, and if I don't pay the thing off, whatever, if I don't pay the balance, $2,000-$3,000, then they're hitting me with that interest rate, and those interest rates are pretty high. I mean, it looks like 15% on my card. I don't even look. I pay it off every month, or at least I'm going to try to this month.
Yeah, actually, the interest rates are. There's a word called usurious.
Right.
Based on extreme greed. But my point is, if let's say you don't pay your credit card, let's say you just stop making payments, can they come and get your house? Can they come and get your...
Here, 97.1 The Ticket.
Alrighty, welcome back to the show, 9:45. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. That's where you're going to find us. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. You can always shoot us an email to mortgage.show@lowrateonline.com. Punch in our names, and you can Google us and the whole deal. You'll find us 24
Facebook
hours a
Live.
day.
Check our faces out. See who you're talking to right now. See who you're listening to. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, we get 1,000 or 3,000 viewers on Facebook Live. It makes it a lot of fun. Again, if you have any questions on there and you do send them in, we'll definitely call you back or track us down at Capital Mortgage. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Boy, we talked about a lot of the different things. I don't know, maybe I'll circle back to a few of these different items here about home purchasing. Second homes, I wanted to throw in the second home purchase. My brother actually and my mom, and they always go to Glen Arbor.
Okay.
And I haven't been up there, and since I was probably a real little, and I just love getting out of town. You get up north, it is absolutely beautiful. So we've had a lot of calls. Yeah, you can buy an up north place. It might be a combination of you and maybe your brother or friend, or sometimes two families get together. But his minimum is 10% down, and I think it makes it very affordable. You're looking at let's just say $150,000 place, and you're right near the lake, and you're in a downtown area. It's very affordable. There's price ranges, Derek, anywhere from, I will say 70. I'll even say a little lower, but about 70,000, or I've seen them for 50, all the way up to millions of dollars if you want.
Harvey, you're right in that. Even where you said that 70, I'm not going to go up to $1 million personally, but when you go into a couple $100,000 or something, there were so many beautiful places I saw last summer, last fall in Northport, Michigan, which I fell in love with. It started getting the wheels turning in my head. I started thinking, and I was like, wow, you don't know until you know, but you could be qualified for that. And, you could make that, dream second home a reality. And it's just something that you can enjoy with your family, your friends. Take everybody up there, take the family. It's great.
And we see families obviously using them for rentals sometimes of the year. For portions of the year, they'll use them in rental. They can make their money back by even allowing family and friends to go back.
Airbnb,
yeah.
There's a lot of different ways you can make some money on buying a second home. So definitely want to throw that out there. Again, it's in reach for a lot of families. It's not that difficult. Also, jumbo programs. I'm telling you, as I dive in more and more, we offer program jumbo loans. Our loan amounts over $453,100. Again, you could buy $1 million house with 5% down. We offer them at Capital Mortgage Funding. Again, 5-10% down. Keep that money in your pocket. And when you're talking about, Kyle, a $700,000-$800,000 property, 10% is a lot of money. That $80,000 extra, if you want, you can keep that to fix the house up.
Oh yeah,
you keep that money.
Yeah, keep the money in your pocket. Because to me, when you move into a house, whether it's $700,000, $800,000, $1 million, there's still things you're going to want to do. It's not. I mean, you might get lucky a couple times to get the turnkey and you love everything about it, but and when you're in a house that size, you're starting to fill it up. You're starting to do some work outside, maybe do a pool.
When you're working with clients that are buying $750,000 houses, they typically don't walk into perfection. They're always going to have something else in mind that they can take that house up even another level. And I know you've seen that.
Oh, I've had clients who bought nice homes, and I was in one last week that they bought last year, and it is completely different.
Yeah.
What they did was they were smart. They put, I think, 10% down instead of 20, and then put the other money that had earmarked for a down payment, they put it into the house, and they're sitting pretty.
They got the nicest landscaping on the block.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, you always need that. And but no, it really again, the programs. You don't have to put down 20% because, as you said, save your money, need it.
Yeah,
especially in a house. I mean, because we all have houses. You're a minute away from a water heater bursting. I mean, really, that's where you're at, and you got to deal with it, right? Or something happens in the basement, something happens in the garage. Like my house, the garage door. My wife backed into it, I still think on purpose, so we had to get a new one.
Right.
But
I hope
things like that.
You think she did it on purpose?
I really do think she did it on purpose. She goes, "Oh, I didn't know it didn't go all the way up," and she hit it, and it had to be replaced. Yeah, so I told her, I said, "Touche, good work."
When you own a house, life happens, and no matter what, like you said, you're going to put some work into it. So a lot of times, that's always been a. People, the misconception that you need to put down 20% down. You need to save X. You can get in. Our most popular programs have been all the Fannie and Freddie Mac programs, 3% down conventional loans. Over the last handful of years, I'm seeing more and more of these transactions. Again, if you qualify for these programs, reduced PMI, a little bit reduced interest rate. It's a first-time home buyer program. As little as 3% down for your home. Boy, oh boy, folks, you can get there. You really can. You can get gift money from relatives. You can borrow against your 401k. Although I don't want you to wipe out your retirement savings, we want you to take care of it. Buy that house.
Right.
Don't not own a house and don't and take advantage of home appreciation.
The Home Ready and Home Possible, those programs too are actually really great because not only do they come with all the added perks of only having to put 3% down, the reduced MI, like Harvey said, but you have to take educational courses to be able to do those.
Yeah.
And I've taken it personally myself. I bought with a Home Possible program, and they walk you through everything. There's no reason not to know everything that you're doing with these transactions, and just all that little information. It really, really helps you. So that first home becomes later on possibly your second home, or you do something like that. Yeah,
it's strange. Some of these commercials on TV, and I get caught, getting sort of. I'm shaking my head sometimes at home, saying, "Are they trying to dummy us down?" I mean, there is a lot of words, and there's some FHA and VA, and there's all these abbreviations for different programs and
they
some
can
of the
really
language.
scare you. They can put a little bit of fear into you that way.
But it shouldn't. If you could sit down and say, there's a reason for these different programs. These programs are set up because your individual circumstance might require that you try one of these programs. Or definitely, you need to know. It's not scary to know there's a difference between FHA or a VA loan. Yeah, if you're not a veteran, you don't need to know about a VA loan.
Right.
You don't qualify for that. But if you don't know the language or what these programs are set up to save you money. Right. Don't be treated like a number. Be treated like an individual. Right. Don't be scared. Don't let the commercials scare you away from sitting down with true professionals. There's no doubt in my mind, after 27 years, that the clients that sit down with us and learn what they're doing, they have a way better experience.
And we have every way to help you, too, when we're trying to get you through this experience. Not only, there's people with an app. There's people that you can hit 7 buttons and you can get through the mortgage process if you think that's possible. Or you can sit down with somebody and get all the education that you need. Us at Capital Mortgage Funding, I know for a fact we can offer basically any kind of service that you want. If you don't want to call, we can do a text, we can do email, we can meet you in person. I'll drive out to see you if you want. There's a lot of things. However we do it on your time, at your pace, and we make sure that it's appropriate for you. We want to make sure that you're comfortable through this whole process.
Yes, Derek, I really like working with you. Do I not come by the office on the other side of the building to see you because
we're on opposite sides of the building, and I love when you stop.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go over there. We'll talk about a few things that are going on that are helping people, and I'll tell you that's the deal here. How do you get the best service possible, folks? If you're shopping because you think an eighth lower in interest rate's going to change your world, I promise you that loan's going to explode on you. I had someone doing that to me this week. Miraculously, now that I'm involved, the closing costs from the competitor have miraculously come down $1,500.
Wait, what?
Yeah, $1,500, and I'm shaking my head still. And I won't get Harry scared if he's listening to it. Let me throw this out there as we're coming up to the end of the show. Again, be sure to call Capital Mortgage at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. And one other thing about purchasing a home is your purchase starts now. If you're young, your life starts now. You got to worry about credit now.
It's big.
It's big. It's big. You got to figure out how you can get your name on your parents' card as an authorized user. Sometimes they can co-sign for you when you get to 18.
If you don't have credit, you can go to your bank. You can go to Bank of America. You can go to Chase. You can do a prepaid credit card,
right,
which basically almost kind of works out as a debit card for you. You put a little bit of money in to start, and then you pay it off every single month. People's credit shoots through the roof. I had somebody who had no credit, couldn't get them approved because they had nothing on their transactional history. Got them that prepaid card. Boom, credit shot up immediately. Got them in a home 2 months later.
Yeah, all these great stories out there. If you go to the HUD site, the Housing Urban Development site, I mean, what it says is own your future. Buy a house, own your future. I mean, that's very important. More ways to buy a home. Know your rights. That's one thing. Know your rights out there. Don't be steered to just go to one particular place. There's usually another answer out there that could be a better answer. I'm finding that out still, that if you are talking to people that are not licensed mortgage professionals, that's right, they have to have a national mortgage license number. If they don't, and they're talking mortgages to you, that's not allowed. So definitely, if you're not getting your information from the right sources, that could be a problem. Understand as much as you can. Why not? Knowledge is the key. And
find the people that want to talk to you too. Find the people that are going to ask you those questions that may, if you're talking to your local bank and they just want to get you right through it. Just find out a little bit about somebody. It'll go a long way and, actually get them through this transaction.
All right. That music says it's the end of our show. Kyle Desmond, thanks for coming in. Kyle Desmond from Hall & Hunter.
Thanks.
All right.
Harry. Great to be here.
If you're out there and you want to buy a house, definitely call Capital Mortgage Funding. We'll get you approved. We'll set you up with these great real estate agents across Southeast Michigan. Again, you'll save money, make it a great process. Hey, we got Pat Caputo coming up with sports. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket for For Derek Brooks, I'm Harvey Freed. We will see you next Saturday.
Have a great one, guys.
Thanks.